Not really going to trade more dodging because it is actually pretty cheap, but fighting is so costly. It's not. I'm not really going to get too much out of it. I'll actually just go here so I can get some good summons. Maybe do some throwing. Alright, take this guy up. Crack him over the head. Monks can hit you kind of hard. So don't underestimate those monks. Also, randomly, like the Elect Breath, if you don't have our Elect, can be kind of painful. The purple ones are the worst because the Dispel both hurts, you know, and there's no resistance to it, unlike Hold or Fire, and it will dispel you. So it will remove all your buffs. It will, like, if you get hit with that, speak of the devil. So I want to kill that purple one as soon as I can. The Shifter I definitely want to get rid of. And next I'll go for Scorcher, and we'll just mop this up. Yeah, so this, I knew I was going to have to fight a bunch of stuff with this kind of central openish layout. It's not too bad though as far as the level goes. It's definitely not like horrifying or anything. Kind of take a look and see where these downstairs, like these downstairs could end you up over here, which I can go up with Invis like this. It's a little bit safer, and I actually got a good location. So what I can do is just kind of now I have to be careful because if I dig here, I'm probably going to encounter a monster. Or two, or three, or four. But I can dig through there and basically have a better path so that when I'm coming back up on the orb run, I'll just go right here, bam, and then I'll have to travel just a little bit further than I would have if I was coming from these stairs, but overall it's a significantly shorter path because I mean, honestly, it's not even that much of a shorter path. It's just a little bit shorter. But it's a very short level, so that's cool. See what this level is. Sometimes the level looks good at first, but you just can't know. This one's probably going to be pretty good though, because I see it downstairs right there. And there's even another one that's not far away. Even the furthest one is not that bad. It's a pretty big level. So this has been a kind of a very smooth as silk shot so far, right? What could go wrong? Okay, this is very far from the chamber, so we're definitely going to look. All three of the stairs are somewhat far. We're going to look at maybe trying this one after I clear out. I'm going to go ahead and exclude. Good idea as you approach the vault to try not to make a lot of combat noise near the vault itself. So if you can pull monsters away so that you have now, I'm not invis, I have a little bit. I'll go ahead and go invis now though. Okay. Randomly you decided. This is why invis is so good. It's really good in Zot because Draconians are a serious threat, especially some of the classed ones. Don't underestimate those. They can help overwhelm you very quickly. And some of the classed ones, particularly Shifters. And the Annihilators are just as bad as Deep Elves. They're worse because they have more HP and more HD. They're a major killer because they'll just land, they'll blink around and land an LCS in your face. And the storm callers too can create some complications. Shifters are among the worst because of that. Blink allies in circle. Yeah, purple ones are a color, so that can be for any class. Definitely they are. Quicksilver dragons are also a major threat in this level. For that same reason, you have killer clowns. Those are now much more of a threat than they used to, but those are still pretty rare. You likely won't see one of those until you get to Zot 5, but you might. Obviously, you have those and stuff like electric golems, orb of fire that can pour out a lot of damage. So I'm keeping the fights kind of away from the main vault so that I can wake up less and have a little bit more control over what you have. This reminds me. At this point, it's a little bit. Oh, no minus tele items, so I could get yanked into the vault at any time. Right there, I fought right outside the vault, and I probably should have pulled a monster like a Mothrath because it's of no threat at all. And yeah, it is true that the Draconians are they don't see invis, they don't have good MR. You can hex them, you can use simple things like descent wands even. That's also true for death cobs. Don't see invis, don't have good MR, and people will have trouble with death cobs because they, in part because they don't use all the tools they could use against those. Don't want a death cob to like slow you, turning a group fight into something much worse. They can pour out some serious damage themselves, but if they get you slowed, they're going to keep slowing you. See, those guys weren't even awake. It is generally favorable to lure as much stuff out of the vault as you can. There will come a point when you're going to fight. Stuff basically inside the vault. I'm going to go ahead and get the Orb Guardians. Thankfully, Orb Guardians do not shout. Now I can go carefully check out. Okay, we got a teleport trap on that side. Looks like we got teleport trap on that side. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Zot 5 is too evil nowadays. Oh no. I don't know about that. Oh, this is fine. I mean, this is going to give me, well, that I don't like. That's a dispersal trap. That's another kind of complication. I don't have much choice here. I kind of have to shout because I can't see anything in Los. I'm gonna go over towards here and shout. I actually didn't wake anything up. Or if I... Interesting. Probably some stuff has wandered into the traps already, I would suppose, because, well, the vault monsters generally don't. Yeah, you can see I've done a good job of not waking stuff up. Alright, well, let's go over to this other side and do some shouting. Nothing so far. Dispersal trap is potentially even a little bit worse than the Zot trap. There's an orb of fire. He's going to teleport. So I'll let him do that. And we'll see where he ended up. We found him. Did not take long. Go ahead and make a box of beasts. Got a lot of these. And I'll silver jab this guy. Not gonna haste right now. Silver jabs are actually good, and yep. Down he goes. Silver jabs are gonna take him down pretty easily. Honestly, I think the beasts were a little bit of a waste there, just because I sort of forgot how I have those. They are very strong against orbs of fire. Just pour out the damage there. Have I played Could? I have not. It's sort of a sandboxy style game that's not my jam. I really like tightly designed stuff that's kind of specific to like play this game to win. I don't really do the more open-ended type stuff so much. I like games with a good strong win condition, because getting better at that, something to really refine and get better at, is the focus. And if a game's designed to sort of focus on doing a bunch of different stuff, it tends to, you know, maybe theoretically you could have a game that really has like some that does both, but usually they spend time designing a lot of different things and they don't have as much time to focus on balancing the part that I like. There are really no telly items in the game, huh? I hear a shout. I hear a shout. Orb Guardian. There he goes. No idea where he went to. I can go back and explore. I'm sort of doing this in a derpy manual style, but it doesn't really matter. It was just one Orb Guardian. Ancient Rich. Well, there he goes too. I can't really get away from it in time. Now, eventually, I can. Now, I'm a vampire, so. Alright, I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to scope out these other stairs. See what we got going on here. And go ahead and take that out, because it's always good to have a better line of retreat. That's actually pretty good right here, because this is a short hop. What do we have? And we already have the best. I'm not gonna. Is there any reason I listed in active games on Devel's? You mean the the listing, the player listing thing? I can check it really quick. The live games listing seems broken again. The one on the homepage itself. Online player status. Now this thing has always like been kind of slow. Oh yes, there is a reason. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. Yeah, I'm not playing on. I'm playing on my own WebTiles server, because this was a game that started on a experimental branch that hadn't even been hosted. So this is my own server. So yeah, it's not. You can't spectate it. I should have realized when you asked that before. I don't know why I forgot. Yeah, that's why I'm not listed. Yeah, it's not a publicly available server at all. It actually is. I could give you the URL if you wanted to spectate. In fact, I'll do that. You can spectate me. Oh, you know though. Now that I think about this, I have to do something before I do this. Sorry, this is gonna... Let me save really quick. forgot to do this earlier. Yeah, the Twitch. If you should follow me on Twitch. I don't know what you use for Twitch alerts. There's a bunch. I use a Chrome plugin that works really well. It just gives you a little pop-up. It's what's it called? I think it's called. What is it called? Yeah, I don't have a Twitter thing. It's called Twitch Now. It's a really nice one. It shows you like it gives you a little icon and it shows you. You can click it and see everybody you have followed who's streaming and just get a nice little listing. It's perfect. I use it in Chrome. There's probably one for Firefox too. Here we go. Yeah, so you could spectate me from Tiles. You can only do so anonymously. It won't allow you to register. Alright, are we back? Oh no, I need to reconfigure it. Let me do that. There we go. Yep, that's me playing web tiles. It's actually public, but it's just a temporary instance with a temporary host name, basically. Since I restart I'm not going to be using this much in the future, but anytime I do like a development test stream, this is my instance, but I stop it. Every time you stop the instance, it loses its host name. But yeah, if you wanted to spectate me in Tiles, that's the current one. Next time I start it up, if I ever do a stream like this, it's going to be a different. The plan is I did this, and this is probably the plan, probably VS Wanderer. I went through and looked at my stuff and thought what I'd want to do next. Okay. So what I can do here is just rest. This is really cheesy, but I'm a vampire. Well, eventually. There. Oh! We saw it. Let me put on our Arlek. Let me hit him once. Okay, now I'm going to put on Arlek over this. Come on, you. I'm foodless. I can cheese. Ancient Rich. Gonna go ahead and hit him with anti-magic. There was our friend the Lich. Put back on our slang. His tactic, yeah. Well, vampires are now foodless, so they are now mummies. Ooh, look at what the cat dragged in. Somebody's susceptible to silver javelins. Nice try, buddy. Tried to tangle with Gamma Funk. Another mummy nerf. No one respects mummies. Respect mummies. I'm gonna start a campaign. Someone has high EV. Respect mummies is my new campaign for 2019. Throwing is 15. You know, I wanted to test out the throwing changes, which I think I had a command for that. That's the basic write-up of what changed in Trunk recently. Addendum to that is that silver damage is nerfed a bit. It's not plus 30%, it's plus 16% unless the thing is susceptible to silver, in which case it's what silver damage is, which is pretty crazy. Killer clowns are susceptible, I believe. Well, I don't know if there's anything else wandering. My cheesy stair strats. Eventually, there we go. Look at this. Look at this. Moth of Wrath? Oh yeah. I don't care, I'm gonna cheese it all. I dare you to stop me cheesing. This is why we need a better forward progress clock. Because this kind of stuff is... Well, it's not too exciting. Oh, okay, I forgot. I have a god. Oops. I was wasting piety. I forgot about piety. My bad. It's all good. Oh, I'm gonna take a Zot Trap to the face. But you know what? I tanked it. I didn't care. I'm gonna take more than a meager Zot Trap to scare me. Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate how I forgot how, like, I was wasting piety. Well, piety is a naturalist, but there are gods that don't have it. Like, if I was with Gozag, for instance, then there would be nothing that I would care about. And Gozag is one of the strongest gods. Gozag is probably currently the strongest god in Crawl. Trog is certainly awesome, but he's not Gozag. The final one. The final level. Oh, good. Nope, not as a vampire. Vampires are foodless. And not as a mummy. So if you're a mummy or vampire of Trog, or of Gozag, you will never ever have any downside to just resting forever. If I want to play it, let me. Let me, god damn it. It's my right. Now we would just like to have something that works kind of as a universal thing and not with, yeah, special cases. Special cases is indeed the exact problem. It is precise. It is precisely what the problem is. Yeah, but score is not, I mean, we don't, you know, score is a completely extra thing. It is true it will cost you score, but that's not really, we don't really want those tactics to be what you want to do, is what we're getting at, because they're just not interesting tactics. You know, just sitting there resting. You know, people are like, well, you know, you can design a species where that's a valid tactic and that'll be something different. It's good to design something different, but it's good for the different thing to actually be fun. Well, try a new vampire if you want, Iggy. Vampires, once they get going, they're a pretty strong species. Obviously, you can try a mummy, one of the weakest species in the game, and I know you like challenges. I think I did challenge you to win Mummy Wizard. You've played mummies a bunch, I think, so you already know what the challenge is there. If you want something a little bit less so, you can try the new vampires because they are completely foodless as well. Ghouls are something where it's not really foodless because you'll rot, and if you don't eat, you'll get your max HP rotted to hell. Looks like we rolled a lot of Ancient Liches. It's a thing you have to do very carefully, and that's probably part of the reason why the current progress clock we have is just so bad at being an actual clock, because people didn't want to make Crawl too hard. I do agree you want to think carefully about how you want your game to play before you just go slapping it on there. But I don't think we would do that. We don't want the game to be really dominated by the idea of going fast, if you will. So it's something where we would have to carefully consider it. This also can kind of dovetail with the idea of like difficulty settings, something else that might be nice. Just gonna Trog's Hand because those things do have hexes and they have high HD. Vampires no longer have hunger, period, in Trunk. Bamber Boozler. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they have no food at all. They have no satiation at all. This is a write-up of the current state of what I'm playing and what you would play in Trunk, aka 0.24. Yeah, the Spell Hunger is one of those funny things where it's like you have to manage it well in terms of skilling and your int and looking at what your costs are, and if you don't manage it, you can run into starvation problems. Once you know how to manage it, it's not too interesting of a thing. No, Bloodless is not gone. There's just two states, Alive and Bloodless, and you actively switch between them. So I have an ability called Exsanguinate, which is a hard to pronounce word that means get rid of blood. And when I use that, I become bloodless. It takes 5 turns, so you have to be careful about trying to use it in combat since it's a long action, kind of like trying to put on a piece of armor in combat. Once you go bloodless, you have minus 20% max HP, so there's that. You get all the bloodless bonuses to like RN3, Torment Immunity, RC++, Stealth bonus, and you get access to Bat Form. Bat Form now has some stat loss that comes when you use it, so you can't just constantly spam in and out of Bat Form. And also, when you go from Bloodless back to Alive, you get a temporary Frail mutation that will go away as you earn a bit of XP. I've had games where I've kind of screwed up, but I've just learned how to manage even things like Spriggans using spells and stuff, and just watch it. And it's just not really an interesting kind of mini game to play with spells, honestly. I never had fun doing that, but it was something I had to sort of figure out. So it's like, okay, yeah, right. I don't want it to be like the last time when I had that Tengu that was starving in Snake Pit because he didn't quite train enough spell casting given his int and the spell he was using. And it's like, it's not really an interesting aspect. So I think Spell Hunger is definitely one of the things to go when we do make this change. But it's not something we have immediate plans for. We have some other priorities right now. Blood, yeah, potions of blood are removed completely. They don't exist. There's no drinking blood. So this side clearly got a bunch of ancient liches in the main vault. Finally, we found that one of those orb guardians that got get wrecked. Quicksilver dragon. Still haven't gained back much Trog piety. We're not going to have good brothers in arms now. Thankfully, we have all these evokers and we have 18 evocations, so we're going to have pretty much the support that we need. But oh, damn. Don't really want to go doing the crazy forget map search since I went a little bit insane with the resting, forgetting that I had Trog piety, and I would. No Faith Amulet dropped this game at all, which right about now would actually even prefer that over the SH. Eventually I'm going to have to step into one of these teleport traps. Here's our bad boy. Silver Jab. Oh yeah, you got me with the RF. Congrats. Oh, and you got me with Vertigo. Aren't you special?